Hello, my dear students, take my heart. I hope you all are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. My little brothers and sisters, I welcome all of you with the Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, mercy, and blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala behold on all of you. My little learners, in this class or in this tutorial, I will try to solve all the questions which is mentioned in page number 94. So let's get started and try to do the class. Dear students, you can see it is page number 94, and here we can see there has almost 18 types of question. In question number 12, we can see the problems or the math of subtraction, and in question number 13 to 18 we can see a little bit critical question. So in this class we will try to solve all the questions which is mentioned here. So first of all, if we see question number 1, we can see that the author mentioned that 28 minus 11 is equal what? Dear students, you know that in my earlier lectures I was mentioned that how can you solve such types of problems. So whenever you will try to solve these types of question, you should start the math or you should start the problem from your right hand side. Here in our right hand side we can see that 8 minus 1 is equal what? Dear students, you know that 8 minus 1 is equal 7, and that is why you should write a 7 here. And in your left hand side you can see that 2 minus 1 is equal what? You know that 2 minus 1 is equal 1. So the answer of question number 1 will be 17. If we see question number 2, we can see that 36 minus 26 is equal what? If you see that in our right hand side we can see that 6 minus 6 is equal what? You know that 6 minus 6 is equal 0, and then in our left hand side you can see that 3 minus 2 is equal what? You know that 3 minus 2 is equal 1, and that is why the answer of question number 2 will be 10. If we see question number 3, we can see that 45 minus 40 is equal what? In our right hand side we can see that 5 minus 0 is equal what? You know that 5 minus 0 is equal 5, and then in our left hand side 4 minus 4 is equal what? You know that 4 minus 4 is equal 0. So the answer of question number 3 will be 5. If we see question number 4, we can see that 50 minus 10 is equal what? In our right hand side 0 minus 0 is equal what? Dear students, in my earlier lectures I was mentioned that if we subtract nothing from nothing, the answer will be that's nothing. That means nothing minus nothing is equal nothing, and that is why 0 minus 0 is equal 0. If we see our left hand side, we can see that 5 minus 1 is equal 4. So the answer of question number 4 will be 40. If we see question number 5, we can see that 23 minus 3 is equal what? If we see our right hand side, we can see that 3 minus 3 is equal 0, and then there has nothing. So the answer of this line will be just a 2. So the whole answer of question number 5 will be 20. If we see question number 6, we can see that these problems are the problems of horizontal problems, and in my earlier lectures I was mentioned that how can we solve also these types of questions. Whenever you will try to solve these types of questions, you should see on your right hand side. Here we can see an 8, and here we can see a 4. So whenever we will try to subtract this 8 from this 4, that means 8 minus 4 is equal 4, and that is why you should write a 4 in your right hand side here. And here we can see that 3 minus 2 is equal what? You know that 3 minus 2 is equal 1. So finally the answer of this question, that means finally the answer of question number 6 will be 14. If we see question number 7, we can see that 26 minus 13 is equal what? You know that 6 minus 3 is equal 3, and then 2 minus 1 is equal 1. So the answer of question number 7 will be 13. If we see question number 8, we can see that 44 minus 22 is equal what? You know that 4 minus 2 is equal 2, and then 4 minus 2 is equal 2. So the answer of question number 8 will be 22. If we see question number 9, we can see that 33 minus 13 is equal what? You know that 3 minus 3 is equal 0, and then 3 minus 1 is equal 2. So the answer of this question will be 20. If we see question number 10, we can see that 28 minus 21 is equal what? You know that 8 minus 1 is equal 7, and then 2 minus 2 is equal 0. So the answer of question number 10 will be just a 7. If we see question number 11, we can see that 47 minus 47 is equal what? Dear students, you know that 7 minus 7 is equal 0, and then 4 minus 4 is equal 0. So the answer of question number 11 will be just a 0. Dear students, I hope you all will understand the maths which is mentioned in question number 12, and these all are the problems, or these all are the maths of subtraction. Dear students, I hope you all were able to understand the questions, and also you all were able to understand the answers. And now I will try to solve question number 13. Dear students, you know that in my earlier lectures I was mentioned that whenever you will try to solve any types of questions, any types of maths, first of all you should read the topic, you should read the question very deeply. So before solving question number 13, I will try to read it. So here in question number 13, the author mentioned that Halima had 25 books. She purchased 14 more books from the book fair. How many books did she then have? Dear students, just try to collect data from these questions. In this question, we can see that two types of data are mentioning here. That in the first line, the author said that Halima had 25 books and then she purchased 14 more books. So when you will try to add these 25 books with this 14, the number of books will be increased. Dear students, that means from the beginning of this story, Halima had 25 books, but when she purchased more 14 books, the number of books will be increased, and that is why we should use the concept of addition whenever we will try to solve this question. So how can we solve this question, or how can we summarize or customize this question? So let's go to the board and try to solve question number 13. Dear students, it is solution of question number 13. In the first line, you should write that Halima had 25 books. It is the first line. And in the second line, or in the next line, you should write that she purchased 14 more books. And in earlier, I was mentioned that because the total books will be increased, and that is why you should write a plus sign here, and it is a must. So in the final line, you should write that then she had 39 books. The students, can you guess that why I write 39 here? Just imagine and think that in our right hand side we can see that 5 plus 4 is equal 9, and then in our left hand side 2 plus 1 is equal 3. So that is why the answer of this question will be 39 books. And remember, you should write an answer in this math. So the answer of this question will be 39 books. Dear students, I hope you all were able to understand the solution of question number 13. And now we will try to solve question number 14. But before that, we will try to read the question from the page. So it is question number 14. In question number 14, the author mentioned that in a cricket match, Manik's team made 48 runs and Tuhin's team made 32 runs. Which team made more runs and how many more? Dear students, just try to read it deeply and then try to collect data from this math. Here we can see that two teams is mentioned here. The first team is Manik's team and the second team is Tuhin's team, and they were able to score some runs, and the question before you that which team made more runs and how many more. So how can we solve this question? So let's go to the board and try to solve question number 14. Dear students, you can see it is the solution of question number 14. So in the first line of this math, you should write Manik's team made 48 runs, and in the next line you should write Tuhin's team made 32 runs. And I was mentioned that because the author was asking to you the difference between these two runs, and that is why you should write a minus sign here, and it is a must. So in the final line you should write that what is the difference here. So you should write difference is equal 16 runs. Can you guess that why I write 16 here? Yes, dear students, in our right hand side we can see that 8 minus 2 is equal 6, and then 4 minus 3 is equal 1. So the difference of these two teams is equal 16 runs. And finally, the answer of this question will be Manik's team made 16 rounds more than Tuhin's team, and it is the solution of question number 14. My dear learners, I hope you all were able to understand question number 14. And now we will try to solve question number 15. But before that, we will try to go to the page and try to read the question deeply. So let's go to the page, and it is question number 15, and here we can see that the question is Ronnie is 49 years old and Oppu is 33 years old. By how many years is Oppu younger than Ronnie? Dear students, try to collect data from here. In the first line, we can see that Ronnie is 49 years old, where Oppu is 33 years old. So the question before you that by how many years is Oppu younger than Ronnie? You can easily understand that Oppu is younger than Ronnie, but you don't know that you don't know that how many years is Oppu younger than Ronnie. So if you want to know that, you should write this math systematically. So how can we do it? So let's go to the board and try to solve question number 15. Dear students, you can see it is solution of question number 15, and in the first line you should write that Ronnie is 49 years old, and you know that it was mentioned in that question. And in the next line you should write that Oppu is 33 years old, and it is also mentioned on the question. And in the final line you should write the difference. Dear students, you can ask me that why I write this minus sign here. Dear students, I mentioned that because it is a question, or it is a problem of differentiation, it is a math of subtraction, and that is why you should write a minus sign here. So how can we get this 16 from here? You know that 9 minus 3 is equal 6, and then 4 minus 3 is equal 1. So the difference of this question will be 16 years. And finally, how can we write this answer of this question? You know that the answer will be like that. Answer is equal Oppu is 16 years younger than Ronnie. Dear students, and it is the solution of question number 15. I hope you all were able to understand question number 15, and you all were also understand the questions which is mentioned in this page. And now we will try to solve question number 16, but before that, let's go to the page and try to see the question which is mentioned on the page. The students, you can see that in question number 16, the question is which number has to be subtracted from 48 to make 20. The students, can you guess that how can we solve this question? The question before you that which number has to be subtracted from 48 to make 20. So how can you find the number which is asking before you? The students, if we subtract that 48 from this 20, that means if we try to do the math 48 minus 20, the answer will be the solution of this math. So how can we solve this question? So let's go to the board and try to solve question number 16. The students, you can see that it is the solution of question number 16, and we can write that 48 minus 20 is equal 28. Then you can ask me that how can we find these 28? The students, just see that in our right hand side here, there we can see a 8, and here has a 0. So whenever we will subtract this 8 from this 0, that means 8 minus 0 is equal 8, and then 4 minus 2 is equal 2. So the answer of question number 16 will be 28. The students, I hope you all were understand question number 16. And now we will try to solve question number 17. But before that, we will go to the page and try to read the question which is mentioned in question number 17. So let's go to the page. Dear students, you can see that in page number 17 there has the question, Rihanna had 26 color pencils. She purchased 12 more from the book fair. Then she gave her younger sister 7 color pencils. How many color pencils were left with Rihanna? The students, it is a little bit compound questions. So here, just try to collect the data from the math. You can see that in the first line, the author mentioned that Rihanna had 26 color pencils. And then she purchased 12 more from the book fair. The students, just think that at the first time Rihanna had 26 color pencils. When she purchased 12 more, the number of pencils will be increased, and that is why in the first line you should use the concept of addition. But in the next line you can see that then she gave her younger sister 7 more color pencils. So when she gave 7 more pencils from her pencils, the number of pencils will be decreased, and that is why in the next line you should apply the concept of subtraction. So how can you solve this question? Let's go to the board and try to solve question number 17. Dear students, you can see it is the solution of question number 17. In the first line you should write that Rihanna had 26 color pencils, and it is mentioned on the question. And in the next line you should write that she purchased 12 color pencils, and it is also mentioned in the question. And dear students, in earlier I was mentioned that because the number of pencils will be increased, and that is why you should write a plus sign here. And in the next line you should write that then she had 38 color pencils. So how can we get this 38? The students, you know that 6 plus 2 is equal 8, and then 2 plus 1 is equal 3. So the answer of this particular line will be 38 color pencils. But in the next line you should write that she gave 7 color pencils. So whenever she gave 7 more color pencils, the number of pencils will be decreased, and that is why you should write a minus sign here. So in the next line or in the final line you should write that there were 31 color pencils left, and it is the answer of this question. So how can we find this 31? You know that in our right hand side we can see that 8 minus 7 is equal 1, and these 3 will be here. So the answer of this question, that means the answer of question number 17 will be 31. So it is the answer, and the answer will be 31 color pencils were left with Rihanna. Dear students, I hope you all were able to understand question number 17, and you all will understand the solution of question number 17. Now I will try to solve question number 18, but before that let's go to the page and try to see what was the question of question number 18. So let's go to the page. Dear students, you can see that in question number 18 the author write that mother gave Topon 24 pulley cakes. Topon gave 12 cakes to his younger sister. Then mother gave 10 cakes to him again. How many cakes did Topon have? The students, just think about the question and try to find a way how can we solve this question. In the first line the author mentioned that mother gave Topon 24 pulley cakes, but from that 24 pulley cakes Topon gave 12 cakes to his younger sister. So when she gave 12 cakes from his cakes, the number of pulley cakes will be decreased, and that is why in the first line you should apply the concept of subtraction. But after that, then mother gave 10 cakes to him again. That means then mother gave Topon again 10 cakes. So the number of pulley cakes this time will be increased, and that is why in the next line of this math you should use the concept of addition, and finally you can get the answer of this question. Dear students, I hope you all will understand the concept. Now we will try to solve this question. So how can you solve this question? Let's go to the board and try to solve question number 18. Dear students, it is the solution of question number 18. So in the first line, you should write that mother gave Topon 24 pulley cakes, and it is mentioned on the question, and it is also mentioned on the page. And in the next line, you should write that Topon gave 12 pulley cakes. That means at the first time, mother gave Topon 24 cakes, but after that, Topon gave 12 pulley cakes from his total cakes. And because he gave 12 pulley cakes, the number of total pulley cakes will be decreased, and that is why you should write a minus sign here, and it is a must whenever you will try to solve these types of question. So in the next line, you should write that he had 12 pulley cakes. So how can we find this 12 here? You know that in our right hand side we can see that 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, and then 2 minus 1 is equal 1. So in this line you should write 12 pulley cakes. That means he had 12 pulley cakes. And in the next line you should write that again mother gave 10 pulley cakes. So when his mother gave him 10 pulley cakes, the total number of his pulley cakes will be increased, and that is why you should write the concept of addition. And that is why we write, or I write, a plus sign here, and it is a must. So in the next line you should write that then Topon had 22 pulley cakes. So how can we find this 22? You know that in our right hand side we can see that 2 plus 0. The students, can you guess that 2 plus 0 is equal what? Yes, 2 plus 0 is equal 2. And then in our left hand side we can see that 1 plus 1 is equal what? You know that 1 plus 1 is equal 2, and that is why in the final line we should write that then Topon had 22 pulley cakes. So it was the process that how can we solve question number 18. But mind it, you should write an answer. You should write an answer whenever you will try to solve any types of question. So the answer of question number 18 will be like that. So the answer is equal 22 pulley cakes. My dear students, I hope you all will understand all the questions and all the solutions which I mentioned in this class. Dear students, if you have any types of doubts, if you have any types of questions, if you have any types of problems in this topic which is mentioned in this class, you can write me without any hesitation on the comment box below this video. I will try to solve all the questions, I will try to clear all the doubts, and I will try to answer all the questions which you have. Dear students, in the next video or in the next tutorial, I will try to solve another types of questions. So dear students, read more and more and try to solve many questions so that you can got the pleasure of mathematics. So in the next video, I will try to solve another types of topics. So goodbye, take care, and stay home.